Welcome, the anointed ones. The moment the truth hits, it does not whisper. It slaps the liar so hard their whole reality glitches. Let that sink in. For months and undeniably for years, they thought your silence meant they won. They mistook your emotional discipline for weakness. They believed they had buried you under their gossip and their fake smiles. But here is the twisted irony they never saw coming. You were not hiding. You were handing heaven the pen. And right now the universe is flipping the entire table. The trap they spent years digging for you is the exact one they are falling into right now. They are sweating and pacing because they realize too late that you are a human lie detector. Before we unpack exactly how their illusion of control is collapsing in real time, you need to understand something crucial. The disrespect you endured was not a punishment, it was a spiritual setup. The universe allowed their mask to slip so you could see their true nature. You were being prepared for a massive elevation. Now pause right here. This is the moment where people who were only curious quietly drift away, and the ones this message was actually meant for. Lean in closer. If you have never been targeted by fake friends or manipulative people, this video will make no sense to you. You can leave now. But if you know what it feels like to be the glitch in their matrix, stay locked in. You have carried a very specific kind of pain, the pain of being chronically misunderstood by people committed to misunderstanding you. You watched them build alliances, using your name as the villain. You saw them smile to your face while plotting your downfall behind closed doors. It felt isolating. It felt like you were completely alone in a room full of people. But you were never the problem. You were just operating on a frequency they could not manipulate. They wanted you to believe that their disrespect was a reflection of your worth. They tried to gaslight you into thinking you were overly sensitive or somehow deserving of their cruelty. But the divine truth is entirely different. Their disrespect was never about you. It was a desperate reaction to the pure light you carry. You are a silent observer. You see the motives hiding behind their carefully constructed facades. And nothing terrifies a fake person more than someone who can see their truth. Every time they tried to diminish you, they were actually fighting against the divine order. The isolation you felt was never a sign of rejection. It was a divine quarantine. The universe had to pull you away from their toxic influence to protect your assignment. They thought they were shutting you out of their exclusive circles. But heaven was actually pulling you out of a burning building before the roof collapsed. While you were sitting in the quiet agony of their betrayal, the spiritual scales were already shifting. The tears you shed in private were not signs of defeat. They were spiritual codes sent straight to the highest courts. You did not fight back with cheap insults or frantic explanations. You stayed quiet, and your silence became the heaviest evidence against them. Now the gavel has struck. The universe is orchestrating a reversal so profound that it will leave them breathless. They are about to watch you ascend to heights their minds cannot even comprehend. Let us peel back the mask and finally say what needed to be said. We are going to decode exactly why your silent success is absolutely destroying their fragile reality. Number 1. The crushing weight of your unbothered existence. Here is a fact most people do not like admitting. Obsession is just envy wearing a mask of insanity. There comes a moment when their hatred for you becomes so personal that it transforms them into a distorted version of you. They watched your peace and your quiet strength, and it triggered a primal panic inside their soul. They spent all their energy trying to curse your light. But spiritual law does not work like human logic. You cannot destroy what heaven has protected. When you spend your life trying to drown someone who can breathe underwater, the only one gasping for air is you. Their disrespect was a calculated move to lower your vibration. They needed you to react. They needed you to scream and defend yourself so they could point their fingers and call you unstable, but you gave them absolutely nothing. You became a stone wall of pure emotional discipline, and that broke their mind. You are a divine weapon in disguise. You did not learn your intelligence from broken systems. You were born with it, in spite of them. You do not read words, you read energy and hidden motives. When they tried to lie to your face, you did not interrupt them. You just let them keep talking while you quietly filed away the truth. That level of spiritual intelligence is a glitch in their matrix. They cannot compute how you always seem to know exactly what they are doing. A manipulator feeds on your emotional chaos. When you cut off that supply, they begin to starve. Your refusal to play their game shattered their entire sense of superiority. They look at your life right now. They see you moving forward without them. They see the divine favor resting on your shoulders, and it makes them physically sick, because they realize they have absolutely no power over your destiny. They thought their smear campaign would ruin your future. Instead, it simply cleared the toxic waste out of your path. You are thriving while they are stuck in the exact same miserable cycle they tried to drag you into. But the psychological torture they are experiencing right now is only the beginning. Because what happens when the universe actually begins returning, their energy is far more brutal. Let us get brutal about this, because this is not a fairy tale. Number 2. The sheer terror of your silent observation. There is a psychological reason why your silence makes them sweat, and we are going to expose exactly what that is right now. When a toxic person loses control over your emotions, their brain enters a state of absolute panic. They are used to pushing buttons and getting a predictable reaction. They desperately needed you to play the role of the unstable one. They wanted you to react poorly so they could point their fingers and play the innocent victim while secretly enjoying your pain. But your emotional discipline starved their fragile ego. You became a blank mirror, and you reflected their ugly intentions right back at them. Imagine this for a second. Someone pours acid, hoping it will eat through your floor, but the container is cracked, and it eats through their own hands first, before it ever reaches you. That is exactly what happens when they try to manipulate a chosen one. They expected you to break down and beg for their fake approval. Instead, you cut off their oxygen supply by simply walking away. Right now, they are sitting in the corner, mentally pacing. The story they told themselves about your weakness is completely gone. Their carefully curated opinion of you is entirely shattered. You did not just change the rules of their little game. You made them question if they even understood reality at all, and their entire world is glitching because of it. They are obsessively monitoring your life from a distance. They ask mutual connections about you while pretending they do not care. The psychological pressure is literally keeping them awake at night. They cannot figure out how you survived their calculated destruction, because they threw everything they had at you and you did not even flinch. And they are terrified because they finally realized you saw through their mask from day one. But it does not stop there. Here is the truth. They do not want you to know. While you were dealing with their relentless manipulation, something invisible was happening to your mind. The spiritual warfare you endured was not just an emotional burden. It was a desperate attempt to scatter your natural frequency. They wanted to attack your intuition with their low vibrational noise. Here is what they never told you. The reason the universe responds to certain people is not just divine timing. It is a specific brainwave that controls your intuition, and scientists have officially named it the gamma frequency. It is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a child, back when ideas came easily and the world felt perfectly aligned, when your intuition was sharp and learning felt completely effortless. But then the modern world went to work on you. The chronic stress and the survival routine began to weigh you down heavily, and the toxic people in your life accelerated that decline. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your mind, until the version of you with lightning intuition went completely silent. They drained your energy on purpose to keep you spiritually blocked. They knew that if you operated at your highest frequency, you would be untouchable. So they flooded your space with drama and endless conflict. They wanted your genius suppressed so they could maintain their illusion of control. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this happened to them. They will think the brain fog is permanent, but you are a living altar of divine potential. The gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not willpower, it is not discipline. It is a suppressed frequency waiting to be switched back on. You felt it as a child, that effortless genius and the way the universe worked with you. That was your gamma brainwave, and it was taken from you without your consent. And that brings us to the most dangerous part of your evolution. Keep listening closely, because what happened behind the scenes while they celebrated your struggle will send chills down your spine. They thought they had permanently damaged your spiritual connection. They celebrated your exhaustion and assumed you were finally defeated. But they fundamentally misunderstood how a chosen one operates. You do not break under pressure. You absorb the impact and use it to fuel your massive awakening. Your silence was not empty, because it was heavily pregnant with divine observation. While they were busy plotting against you, you were quietly gathering spiritual intelligence to understand their true motives. You noticed how their stories never added up. You watched their body language contradict their sweet words, and you realized that their confidence was entirely fake. They are deeply insecure souls trying to steal your immense light. Your presence alone reminds them of everything they can never be, and that is why they tried to break your focus. They needed you distracted by their drama so you would forget your own immense power. But their plan failed miserably. Because heaven was using their attacks to build your impenetrable armor. Every lie they told about you just made your intuition sharper. Every time they tried to isolate you, they pushed you deeper into the arms of the universe where you found your true strength. You are no longer playing on their level. You have elevated beyond the reach of their petty games. As they watch you rise above their noise, the reality of their massive failure is finally setting in. They can still see your light shining brightly, but they can never touch you again. Number 3. The devastating power of your absolute silence. They fully expected you to break down. They wanted you to beg and explain yourself. They needed you to desperately seek their validation, but instead of giving them the dramatic reaction they craved, you handed them absolute and chilling silence. You completely cut off their toxic oxygen, and by doing nothing at all, you rewired their mental map and made their entire game completely irrelevant. Every time they tried to provoke you, your silence stood like an impenetrable wall. This is exactly why they are currently unraveling. When a manipulator cannot force a reaction, they start projecting their own insecurities. They are aggressively fighting ghosts in their own mind. You did not even lift a single finger to destroy them, because your absolute refusal to participate in their chaos did all the heavy lifting for you. They built a massive smear campaign to destroy your reputation. They recruited fake friends to spread their toxic narrative. They fully expected you to aggressively defend your honor in public. But your refusal to fight in their mud completely short-circuited their brain. You showed them that their twisted opinion holds absolutely zero weight in your beautiful reality. You are untouchable. This level of emotional detachment is terrifying to a toxic person. It proves that they never really possessed your spirit. They are currently watching your life from fake accounts and feeling physically sick. You are glowing and thriving, while they are drowning in their own bitter poison. Your unshakable peace is the ultimate divine revenge they simply cannot escape. You see, silence is not just the absence of words. It is a spiritual boundary that ruthlessly protects your sacred energy. By stepping back, you allowed the divine to step forward. While they were busy shouting their lies, you were quietly collecting receipts in the background. Your stillness became the ultimate evidence against their toxic behavior. Heaven never ignores the silent cries of a pure heart. They thought their loud voices would drown out your quiet truth, but heaven operates on a completely different frequency. The louder they yelled, the more desperate they looked to the universe. Your pure silence actually amplified their heavy guilt. They are terrified because they know you hold the truth, and they know that you do not even care enough to expose them anymore. You did not just survive their calculated manipulation, you used their dark energy to fuel your massive spiritual upgrade. While they were busy gossiping, you were busy healing and elevating your mind, and now you are operating on a frequency they cannot even perceive. They look at your life today and realize they created a monster of divine resilience. Before we reveal the final and most devastating stage of their karma, I have to tell you something. This is something the people who profit from your exhaustion never want you to know. The toxic people in your life wanted you drained. They wanted your mind completely scattered so you could not access your true power. They knew your divine frequency was your greatest weapon. While they were trying to permanently drain your energy, science actually found a way to block their interference. Neuroscientists working quietly away from the headlines have discovered how to bring your dormant brainwave back. They found a way to restore the exact frequency the world tried to crush. And it does not require years of meditation that most people simply cannot sustain. You do not need clinical biofeedback machines that cost $7,000. The solution is actually far simpler and far more aligned with how you were designed to heal. Researchers from Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon. They confirmed that a specific sound frequency can smoothly guide your brain back to its natural genius state. It clears the toxic fog instantly. Dr. Robert Lake and his team spent years testing this powerful protocol. And Columbia University found something even more amazing about this frequency. When this specific brainwave is reactivated, it does not just stop with you. It begins to radiate outward and positively influence the people around you. It heals your children and the loved ones you have been quietly carrying for years. It only takes 7 minutes a day to physically force your brain back into alignment. And the profound shift begins working the very first time you listen. I will tell you exactly what this spiritual tool is called and how to access it before this message ends. You cannot operate at your divine frequency if you allow their low vibrational noise to linger in your space. But first, there is something you need to understand about the spiritual trap they built for themselves. Do not pause and do not click away right now. Stay right here with me. This message is about to go even deeper, and by the end of it, you will know exactly why they are currently pressed, paranoid, and completely powerless. The final plot twist is imminent. Number 4. The brutal reality of divine retribution is here. Have you ever wondered exactly how the courtroom of heaven collects its receipts? You might think they are moving on with their perfectly curated lives, but behind closed doors, a completely different reality is unfolding right now, and the universe is finally showing its hand. They played with spiritual fire, thinking they were completely above the consequences. They relied on pure volume. They hoped that if enough people agreed with their lies, the truth would permanently disappear. But God does not move off toxic emotions because he operates on absolute truth, and heaven was silently archiving every single receipt while they confidently laughed at your pain. You see, God did not forget what they did to you. He did not overlook the brutal way they treated your pure heart. He was just giving them time to realize their massive error. But that grace period is officially over. What is coming for them is not petty human revenge. It is a devastating legal correction from the highest spiritual authority, and they will not be able to escape it. The courtroom of heaven is no longer in recess. The heavy gavel has finally struck, and the final verdict is written in pure fire. They did not just lie on your beautiful name, they committed high spiritual treason against a soul the universe hand-selected, and now the scales of justice are balancing with terrifying speed. This correction is completely unavoidable. They mocked your breakdowns. They thought your silent tears meant absolute defeat. What they never understood is that your tears were not signs of weakness. They were incredibly powerful spiritual codes. Every time you wept in isolation, you were sending divine alerts straight into the courts of heaven, and you were summoning an unstoppable force to fight your battles. You were not falling apart in the dark. You were calling down a divine intervention that they simply cannot negotiate with. And now the spiritual boomerang is coming back to hit them flawlessly. When you spend your life trying to drown someone who can breathe underwater, the only one gasping for air is you. Their dark energy has formally returned to sender. The elaborate trap they set for you has become the coffin of their own ego. You did not even have to lift a single finger. Have you noticed how their life is suddenly filled with unexplainable bad luck? That is not a random coincidence. It is the undeniable weight of karma systematically dismantling their fake empire piece by piece while they watch in absolute horror. Their fake friends are slowly turning against them. The alliances they built on gossip are rapidly crumbling. Darkness inevitably turns on itself. They are desperately trying to maintain their perfect image while their internal reality is burning to the ground, and the psychological pressure is finally breaking them. They are completely exhausted. Do not look away now. Do not let your mind wander for even a second. The final piece of this puzzle is going to shock you. The universe is not just punishing them in private. It is going to force them to watch your massive elevation, and they will have a front row seat to the exact glorious destiny they tried to destroy. They thought they had buried you under their massive lies. They celebrated your painful downfall. They proudly walked away. But what they fail to understand is that a chosen one never dies in pain because they resurrect in massive purpose. They were not burying you in a dark tomb. They were planting a powerful seed in fertile soil. And now you are breaking through that soil with explosive power. You are undeniably stepping into a season of massive divine favor. The doors that are opening for you right now are locked from the inside. Their dirty money and their fake status can never buy the kind of blessings that heaven is actively pouring over your life today. You are highly favored. You have completely elevated beyond the range of their toxic influence. They can still see you shining from a distance, but they can never touch you again. This barrier is not built from human bitterness. It is built from absolute spiritual ascension, and you have become entirely untouchable to their low vibrational attacks forever. The silence of your untouchable reality is louder than any scream they could ever produce. They are drowning in the consequences of their own actions. Your only job right now is to stand firmly in your immense power. You are the living glitch in their matrix, and your silent success is the ultimate judgment against their entire pathetic existence. The truth is finally out. The universe has recognized your pure frequency. The spiritual shield wrapped around your life is now completely impenetrable. They tried to scatter your brilliant mind with their endless drama, but heaven has already won this war and secured your ultimate victory. It is time to step into your final phase. Number 5. The ultimate untouchable ascension. You do not have to lift a single finger anymore to defend yourself. The spiritual war is officially over. Heaven has already delivered the final verdict against them. You are now seated on a throne of absolute peace. They wanted you to believe you were completely broken by their disrespect, but the divine truth is that you are entirely untouchable. You did not just survive their massive manipulation, you completely dismantled their toxic reality by simply existing. Your silent success is the ultimate judgment against them. While they are busy drowning in their own karma, you are walking into a season of massive abundance. They desperately wanted you to stay stuck in a cycle of heavy self-doubt. They wanted you to constantly question your own brilliant mind, but the universe stepped in and completely rewired your reality. Every single trap they set for you actually propelled you further towards your divine purpose. You are the ultimate glitch that destroyed their entire matrix. Your pure heart was tested by the most manipulative forces imaginable, but you never compromised your beautiful spirit to lower your unshakable boundaries. You stood incredibly firm in your quiet truth. And now, heaven is heavily rewarding that loyalty. The people who threw stones at you are now watching you build a massive empire with those exact same stones. They are desperately trying to hold on to their fading power, but you are operating on a frequency they cannot even perceive. The universe has placed an impenetrable shield around your entire life. You are a highly protected asset of the divine. Nothing they do can ever lower your vibration again, but carrying the weight of a chosen one takes a physical toll. The spiritual warfare you endured was incredibly heavy. It was a desperate attempt to scatter your natural frequency. They tried to attack your divine intuition with their low vibrational noise. Neuroscientists recently proved this exact phenomenon. They call it the decline effect. The extreme stress from toxic environments actively suppresses your natural brainwaves. Your profound exhaustion was never a personal weakness. It was a physical reaction to their spiritual attacks. They wanted your gamma brainwave completely suppressed. Gamma is the exact frequency where divine downloads happen effortlessly. It is the state of mind you had as a brilliant child, and it is exactly what you need to reclaim your destiny right now. You cannot operate at your highest divine frequency if their toxic residue remains. You have to handle your healing while heaven handles the justice. That is why I do not just sit and meditate for hours. I use a specific 7-minute audio frequency every single day. It physically forces the brain back into perfect alignment without any conscious effort. Dr. Robert Lake and his team of neuroscientists engineered this powerful tool. They compressed an entire gamma activation protocol into 7 incredibly effective minutes. You just close your eyes and let the sound wave clear the heavy fog. It activates that genius-level clarity they aggressively tried to steal from you. It is called the Genius Song. Over 18,000 chosen ones have already used it to unlock their flow. It is a personal arsenal for your spiritual protection. You could spend thousands on clinical biofeedback sessions to access this state, but this protocol retunes your frequency almost instantly for a fraction of its true value. You can finally step back into your unbothered power. But you must listen very carefully right now. The internet is full of fake activation tracks designed to steal your pure energy. Do not fall for cheap imitations on streaming platforms that mess with your subconscious mind. The forces that benefit from your suppression are actively flooding the market with these diluted counterfeits. You must guard your energy. The only authentic and fully activated version of the Genius Song is protected. I have secured the direct official link for you in the pinned comment below. You are also fully protected by an ironclad divine guarantee. If your frequency does not massively shift, your energy investment is fully protected and returned. This is an exchange governed by pure trust. You also receive 4 powerful bonuses when you activate this frequency today. One of them is a special audio engineered specifically for your children. It protects their focus from the same toxic systems that targeted you. Do not let their low vibrational noise linger in your sacred space for another day. The door to your ultimate freedom is wide open right now. Access the exact frequency activation at the pinned link below. Wash their toxic residue from your beautiful mind forever. You are entirely untouchable, and they finally know it. Walk through that door and claim your profound inheritance. Then subscribe to this channel to officially join the unstoppable, because your massive success is the only answer they will ever get.